small segment of the population, but for those it is an issue, right? Yes, actually, I'm speaking to Russ over there now. It sounds like I'm answering a question that didn't happen, but I'm in here. Yeah, we're going to fix this. But in the meantime, I'll tell you about the song I'm going to sing. And there was a period some years ago now, maybe 10 years ago, and longer. I met some guys in a bar on Haight Street in San Francisco, and they made me an offer to write a book. And drinks were going back and forth, and conversation was going back and forth, and there were 4 guys from HarperCollins sitting there, and me. And one of the HarperCollins guys was extremely enthusiastic about getting me to write a book, and 2 of them were kind of neutral, and one of them was really not interested at all. He glowered at me and went through the whole meeting. Maybe he didn't like his drink, but anyway, he was the boss of the guy that was really enthusiastic, though. But we did get to do the book, which actually worked out okay. But it took a long time, and during the time I was writing the book, I didn't write any songs, and when it was over, I thought, geez, it's been a really long time since I wrote a song. I wonder if I can still remember how to do it. And maybe I should be writing prose now that I'm doing it, now that I'm an author. But then some people came along who were doing a documentary film about a Canadian poet, a deceased Canadian poet. I think that people only make films about deceased poets generally. I don't think they do it while they're alive. Anyway, Al Purdy was a great Canadian poet, a really interesting writer, and was around for a very long time. He started in his 20s writing poetry, and back in the Depression, and riding the rails back and forth across Canada, and he continued until he died in 2000, I think, and left a legacy of pretty great writing. So anyway, it was worth doing a documentary about him, and they wanted me to contribute a song to this film. I hadn't written a song in 3 or 4 years, and so I thought, well, I'm not going to tell them that. So I thought, I better, I'll say yes, and if I get a song, then I guess I'm still a songwriter, and if I don't get one, then I'm not. I got to find something else to do. Become, one of those writers of prose that does something else for a living, like being a garbage man or something. Anyway, I said yes, and I got a song. So that's why we're all still here now doing this. And it happens to be this one. Stand in the swaying boxcar doorway, moving east away from the sunset. And after a while, the eyes digest a country, and the belly perceives a mapmaker's vision in dust and dirt on the face and hands here. Its smell drawn deep through the nostrils, down to the lungs, and spurts through the bloodstream. Campaigns in the lower intestine, and chants love songs to the kidneys. After a while, there is no arrival and no departure possible anymore. You are where you were always going, the shape of home is under your fingernails. And the product of some parents of the sort that shouldn't breed. Never had my schooling past learning how to read. Caught the poetry bug in some forgotten institution. When first I did embark on this career of destitution. The beauty of language set a hook in my soul. Be like a bread crust soaking soup from a bowl. You can call this a rant, but I declare, I declaim, Purdies poems are the name of the game. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Purdies for a $20 bill. Porkers in the counting house counting out the bacon. Matter's getting darker in the universe they're making. They love the little guy until they get a better offer. With the dollar getting smaller, they can fit more in their coffers. The doings on the corner, neither sun nor sea. They're circling the shopping carts of Children and Queen. I resemble that assembly, but I'm not the same. Purdies poems are the name of my game. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Purdies for a $20 bill. You can spit on the prophet, but respect the word. I got some lines I want to spin you that you ought to have heard. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Purdies for a $20 bill. And after the essence of everything had exchanged itself for words and became another being, and could even be summoned from the far distance, we chanted a spell of names, and we said, "Mountain, be our friend." And we said, "River, guard us from enemies." And we said what it seemed the gods themselves might say if we had dreamed them and they had dreamed us from their high places. And they spoke to us in the forest, from the river and the mountain. And the mouths of the ochre-painted dead had speech again. And the speech had words. And our children